Did you know there are teams with unbeaten records that are far higher than that of Bayer Leverkusen? These teams rack up 10 wins in a row, then 20, 40, 60, and even up to 100 games. And no, they are not the big names like Manchester City, Arsenal, or Bayern Munich. They are usually the underdogs, the ones nobody sees coming. One of the many reasons football is loved worldwide is its unpredictability. But these teams, with teamwork and smart tactics, make winning seem inevitable. Here is a list of teams that were on incredible winning streaks and basically forgot to lose. If you stay to the end, you will see the team that was basically unbeaten for over 3 years. We have Real Madrid's 2016-2017 unbeaten run at number 10. This was the season in which Real Madrid completely forgot how to lose. They just kept winning. Well, until they didn't. On the 12th of January 2017, a last-minute goal from Benzema secured a 3-3 draw against Sevilla, resulting in an unbeatable run to 40 games and a new record in Spanish football. 3 days later, they played with Sevilla again. The game started as usual, with Ronaldo's opening goal, and then Sevilla pulled one back. The game looked like it would end with a draw until Jovetic scored in the extra minute to win the game for Sevilla. So, just a few days after they broke the unbeaten record, they lost it. However, it was still an impressive run. The best part of this feat is that they had an unbeaten streak while facing tough teams like Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and even the almighty Barcelona, with their Messi, Neymar, and Suarez combination. However, they didn't just stop at La Liga. They won the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, and, for the cherry on top, the Champions League Cup the second time by thrashing Juventus by 4-1 in the final. This feat made them the first team ever to defend their title in the Champions League. The streak was also remarkable for their star player, Cristiano Ronaldo, who ended the season with 42 goals and reached the historic milestone of 400 career goals during the streak. This particular season will forever be remembered as one of the best in the club. In the 9th position, we have Fiorentina. In the 1955-56 season, it felt like they were on steroids. On April 17, 1955, Fiorentina suffered a 5-1 defeat to Atlanta, a team that narrowly escaped relegation the previous season. But this loss wasn't like the rest. They took it personally. Since that time till about a year later, they didn't lose a single game. This crazy streak helped them win their first ever Serie A title with 53 points, 12 points ahead of the runner-up, Milan. The only match they lost was on the season's final day. The team came close to a perhaps even bigger trophy when reaching the European Cup final the subsequent season. After beating Grasshopper and Red Star, they had to face Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in the final and were defeated 2-0. The squad was made up of great players like Giuliano Sarti, Sergio Cerveto, Francesco Rosella, and Aldo Scaramucci. Giuseppe Vergili was their forward, and that season alone, he had 21 goals. This season changed Fiorentina's game. They went from, well, kind of bad to a major force in Italian football. They finished with a significant lead, showcasing consistent and impressive form. This season not only changed Fiorentina's game, but it also brought the city of Florence closer to the sport. Also, the bond between the team and the city became stronger than ever. In the number 8 spot, we have Ajax, the powerhouse of Dutch football, known far and wide for its charisma and prestige. Under manager Louis van Gaal, Ajax was known for its blend of attractive, attacking football and strong defense, which earned them the nickname Beauty and the Beast. He was a major fan of the total football philosophy, and he ensured that the team played with it. In the 1995-96 season, the Ajax team had a remarkable 42 games unbeaten. This run helped them win the Eredivisie. Ajax also triumphed in the KNVB club by defeating PSV Eindhoven 5-0 in the final, held at the De Kuip in Rotterdam, to lift the KNVB Cup trophy. With this win, they secured a domestic double. In the whole season, they netted 97 goals while only conceding 27. They were able to score a lot of goals through their super strikers, Patrick Kluivert, Jari Litmanen, and Nigerian forward Nwankwo Kanu. Unfortunately, their winning streak wasn't meant to last forever. A team called Willem II finally ended their dream run with a sneaky 1-0 win. Despite the setback, Ajax still crushed the competition and won the league by a whole 6 points. They also competed in the UEFA Champions League and beat teams like Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, and Panathinaikos. They even got to the final but were defeated on penalties by Juventus. For number 7, we have the excellent AC Milan, who demonstrated their unbeatable strength in the 1990s. They just wouldn't lose. They went on a crazy 42-game unbeaten streak across all competitions, and in Serie A, they were untouchable for an even more insane 58 games in a row for 3 seasons. The 1991-1992 Milan side, nicknamed Gli Invincibili, dominated Serie A, going unbeaten throughout the 34-game league season, a rare feat in football history, matched in Serie A only by Juventus in 2011 to 2012. They scored 74 goals, with Marco van Basten leading the charge with 25 goals. A significant factor in their success, he was the highest goal scorer of the competition and won the Balon d'Or that same year. It is also important to mention the influence of Paolo Maldini, one of the world's best defenders, is ensuring that goals were not easily conceded. A major highlight of the season was January 1992, when Milan thrashed their rivals, Napoli, 5-0. Marco van Basten scored a hat-trick in that game. Although they didn't play in the European Cup, now known as the Champions League, that year that meant more focus on crushing everyone in Serie A. With a super strong defense and impressive tactical strength, they became one of the most dominant teams ever. And for number 6, we have Juventus, who dominated Serie A in 2012, winning their first legitimate league title since 2003. I say legitimate because Juventus were stripped of their 2004-5 Serie A title over match-fixing scandals. After the whole issue, they came back strong and dominated the league, going undefeated the entire season without a single loss. They went through the season with a loss of 43 games. Also, their defense was so strong that they only let in 20 goals all year, a record for Serie A then. Their manager, Antonio Conte, turned them into a winning machine renowned for using the 3-5-2 formation, with players like Andrea Pirlo, Claudio Marchisio, and Carlos Tevez leading the charge. They also had strong defenders like Giorgio Chiellini, Fabio Grosso, Leonardo Bonucci, Stefan Liechtenstein, and Andrea Barzagli. Additionally, they were blessed with a talented goalkeeper, Gianluigi Buffon, who had an outstanding season, conceding only a record 20 goals all year. They finished with 84 points, solidifying their pace as one of the most formidable teams in the Italian football history. Only one thing went wrong for this fantastic team. They lost the Coppa Italia final to Napoli. This was their only defeat of the season and, indeed, would have hurt. For the 5th spot, we have the Rangers, who had an extraordinary 1992-1993 season. They went 44 matches unbeaten, 10 of which were even in the Champions League, putting Scottish football on the map. Back home, Rangers were unstoppable. They completed their 5th domestic treble, finishing first in the Scottish Premier Division and securing their 5th consecutive league title, part of their run of 9 successive titles. Rangers achieved an impressive 44 games unbeaten and won both the Scottish Cup and the Scottish League Cup, completing a domestic treble. To win the Scottish Cup, they had to go against their arch-rivals, Aberdeen, whom they beat 2-1 with goals from Mark Hateley and Neil Murray. They also had to face Aberdeen once more in the Scottish League Cup, and they beat them 2-1 again, thanks to goals from Stuart McCall and Ali McCoist, who scored 49 goals in the season. Also, there was Andy Goram, one of the best footballers in the league, who helped save the team from conceding a lot more goals. In that season, Rangers cemented their position as a major European force and a thorn in the side of their rivals, Celtic. Talking about defeating your rivals, this channel is all about bringing you unique football content. So, if you like this video, click on the like button and share it with your other football friends. To get notified when we drop more epic content, smash the subscribe button. On the 4th position, we have Benfica's remarkable achievements during the 1963-1964 season and beyond. They racked up a crazy 48-game unbeaten streak and totally dominated Portugal, winning their 13th and 14th league titles in a row. They displayed a formidable attacking force, scoring 103 goals in 26 league matches, with Eusebio, their top striker, leading the charge. He was the top goal scorer with 28 goals in all competitions. They only lost one time in their domestic league, but come on, everyone has bad days. The Portuguese Giants dominated both domestically and in Europe. In the European Cup competition, they got to the final by defeating teams like Stade Reims, vs Budapest. However, they couldn't go past Inter Milan in the final, where they lost 1 goal down. One of the notable matches in the season was the match against Seychelles, where they won 14-0 against Stade de Milan. In the preliminary stages of the European Cup, in the first leg, they won 8-0 and then 6-0 in the second leg. What a badass win! While the next team I will talk about eventually beat their record, their reign in the mid-60s was legendary. At number 3, we have the unstoppable force, the one and only Bayer Leverkusen. Forget everything you thought you knew about German football because these guys rewrote the rulebook in the 2023-2024 season, under the leadership of manager Xabi Alonso. They defied expectations and not only challenged but snatched their first Bundesliga title right out of the hands of Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich had won the league for 11 consecutive years before this. Throughout the season, they did not lose a single match for 51 games in a row. They also had a whopping 17-point lead over second place. Another interesting thing is that they scored a whopping 17 goals in stoppage time and 34 goals from the 80th minute onwards throughout the season, showing us the power of resilience. However, Leverkusen's success wasn't limited to the Bundesliga. They secured a domestic double by winning the DFB Pokal German Cup final against Kaiserslautern. Moreover, they achieved a historic feat by going unbeaten for a record-breaking 51 games across all competitions. This surpassed the previous record of 48 games held by Benfica. However, they could not replicate their Bundesliga success in Europe. Although they reached the Europa League final, they fell short against a determined Atalanta team, losing the final 3-0. At number 2, we have the Celtics 2016-2017 season, which basically involved them participating and winning in a can't-lose challenge. In that season alone, they mowed through the Scottish Premiership, League Cup, and Scottish Cup, winning all 3 trophies. They even went undefeated in 69 games. This earned them the nickname, the Invincibles. They scored 34 victories and 4 draws in their domestic league, giving in a record 106-point tally, which secured their 6th consecutive title. Their dominance was so clear that they measured the Scottish Premier League title on April 2, 2017, with a massive 8 games remaining in the season. This was the earliest a team has ever won the Scottish League Championship in 88 years. However, their record-breaking run ended with a 4-0 defeat to Hearts at Tynecastle. While their Champions League run wasn't as successful, they reached the Champions League group stage and played with big names like Manchester City and Barcelona. Even if they didn't win, they showed everyone they weren't afraid to mix it up with the big boys. Celtic currently holds the record for the longest unbeaten run in a top European league, distinguishing itself from Bayer Leverkusen's record by achieving it solely in their domestic league, unlike Leverkusen, whose streak occurred across all competitions. Taking the lead at number 1 is the unbelievable Steaua Bucuresti team of the 1986-87 season. They became the talk of the mouths of European football supporters when they went on an astounding 119 games without a loss while playing 104 league matches and 15 cup games. They did all this while scoring an average of 3 goals per game and conceding less than a goal per match. This remains a record that no team has broken. During their remarkable run from 1985 to 1989, the club secured an impressive 5 consecutive league titles and 4 Romanian Cups without experiencing a single defeat in domestic football. The pinnacle of this era came in the 1985-86 season. Steaua Bucuresti, under manager Emre Hieni, defied all odds by winning the European Cup, now Champions League, defeating Barcelona 2-0 in a penalty shootout final. This victory remains one of the biggest upsets in Champions League history, solidifying their place among European giants. Trying to build on their European Cup win, Steaua Bucuresti secured another European trophy in the 86-87 season. They defeated Dynamo Kiev 1-0 in the European Super Cup, a match between the Champions League winner and the Club Winners' Cup winner. In the 1988-89 season, Steaua Bucuresti reached the pinnacle of European competition once again, but this time they fell short in the final against a dominant AC Milan side led by the legendary Arrigo Sacchi. Losing 4-0, the 4-year run of the Steaua Bucuresti team goes down as one of the greatest the game of football has ever seen. It's quite ironic to know that the team has been relegated a couple of times and is currently playing in Liga 4, the 4th tier of Romanian football. I guess football is actually quite unpredictable. After all, once giants that roamed the European stage, now they find themselves battling in the trenches of Liga 4. But hey, every journey has its ups and downs, and who knows, maybe one day Steaua Bucuresti will rise again to reclaim their former glory. But until then, check out this other video we made. Thanks for watching till the end.